Nigerians are expected to seek out the best.
2 words to describe the activity.
The Yoruba Unity Forum is conducted.
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa.
Presidential
we break the news.
Women in Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News.
Welcome to Core TV Primetime
News. A 24-hour news station.
Thank you for being there. We apologize for that long break. It was due to some technical hitch behind the scene there. But right now we're back on our discussion segment, and my guest is in the studio with me. He's a guest analyst, and his name is Akintoye Branko Rhodes. Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Thank you.
This morning. But let's look at we're looking at a countdown to election that is upcoming, that is coming up now. What are your expectations? What do you want to see play out in the elections?
Well, in any elections, there has to be a winner. And we're expecting the process to conclude with winners. We have two main parties, even though we have other smaller parties in the race.
All right.
But I think it's a two-horse race, really. It's between the President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and Alhaji Buhari, and of the APC. But we only expect that the transition will conclude successfully, and a winner will emerge.
Yeah, just before we get to transition, there has to be a process of election. There has to be voting and all of that. But I'm talking about the voting itself, the casting of the vote itself.
Yes.
Do you see a violence-free election? Do you see a process that is peaceful without violence?
I think the polity is being overcharged, and therefore it will be a challenging voting process. But nations overcome challenges to accomplish its destiny and purpose. So, albeit the drums of war everywhere, I still believe that this electoral process, these elections, will end up in a definite result, will give us a definite result of a winner one way or the other.
What do you make of the calls from different quarters for the shift of the date, for the shifting of the date of the polls? What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's absolutely irresponsible to think that we can shift elections at such short timing. Even though the argument for it was put in mad words, the failure of the INEC in its preparations. I don't have my PVC, what do you call it?
Permanent voter card,
I don't
PVC.
have it as of today.
But today is the last day, I learned, except Abuja, that it has been extended by 1 week. Why is it the rigorous process of collection that is holding you? Why don't you have yours now?
The thing, actually, I intend to give it a very good fight today to pick it up. Okay. But I have not been very clear on where is the actual pickup point. I know where I registered, but it's not been clear. It's been, I think it's one center per local government, if I understand it's not going to be from the place where I registered. So that confusion of where exactly to pick it up is what has slowed me down from picking up, but I intend to get to the bottom of that today. But I think that was the main platform upon which the NSA was saying that they thought that the elections be postponed, even though I don't think that the challenge of the process warrants a postponement. No, I don't think so.
You know, because there are issues with the fact that there was shorted distribution, but you also said earlier that it seems INEC has failed. But what do you think INEC is not getting right in the run-up to this election?
You see, this is just a symptom of our environment. There's no way one will be planning mass registration on a new platform. This PVC introduction is a new platform. It's not something that we've not tried and tested before now. It's a good idea if we have permanent voters card. That's fantastic. But I think, be that as may, the process should have been properly tried. The planning should have been 100% pre-planning, and then that would have addressed all the issues that we're now being faced with. So I think it's a failure of the planning process. It's a failure of the implementation, but I believe that we Nigerians now will have to make the best of it, help INEC to accomplish its objective in whichever way we can participate, either by cooperating with them or assisting in any way in ensuring that people pick up their cards. I am going to ensure that I pick up my card today.
Just like you're saying that you don't have your card, I'm sure a lot of people out there are saying they don't have their card. Do you think that a lot of people, Nigerians, even though there is an extension of the collection of this PVC by 1 month, of course, it was supposed to terminate at 31st of December, and then, or first week of January, and then the INEC has to extend it to 31st of January now. But do you think that a lot of Nigerians might still be disenfranchised? Yeah.
That's why I said that the onus is now on us Nigerians to help the system, to ensure that we sacrificially go in there to pick up our cards. If we're waiting for the system to correct itself, it's a bit late. But whatever we can do, I intend today to spend better half of whatever time I have today to ensure that I pick up my card. That is that determination that we Nigerians now have to resolve to ensure that we're not disenfranchised. I don't think the process can correct itself in this late hour.
Interesting, but then another issue, which is also in the news at this time, is there are people who have their permanent voter card now, or they don't really have their permanent voter card. They have the temporary voter card.
I have the temporary.
And some others, they've collected. But it's just that the point where they collected, at the point they collect, they are no longer there. Probably you are in Lagos.
Yeah.
And you collected yours in Kaduna, and now you are in Lagos. Now, do you think it might affect the voting process?
Well, you see, if the resolution is, or the rules for this game is, upon the presentation of your PVC, you'll be allowed to vote. Now, for whatever reason, if we get there and we cannot present, or we present the PVC and we cannot be accredited, that means we've been disenfranchised for whatever reason. Now, that is the burden of the INEC in this process. The INEC has to ensure that we patriotic Nigerians are not disenfranchised at the point where we present our cards, or if the process is short-circuited in the sense that you get there and they say, look, we don't have your name. And that's it. You cannot.
Because that's really an issue. A lot of people are really clamoring for that now, that INEC should do something about that. But so I think we need to really talk about that. Do you think INEC should provide an alternative for those people who at the point where they collected their PVC and they are no longer there now? Because the guideline is that you must vote where you registered.
Yeah.
And now you're no longer there. So what do you think? Don't you think INEC should provide an alternative so that such person will not be disenfranchised?
The question is, how do we correct a foundational problem?
Okay.
If INEC in the hours, these are the wee hours now of the elections, we're just about 2 weeks to the end, to the election day, and we're still having a problem on accessibility to the process. I don't see how INEC can address that with it. That's why I think it's going to be really up to us to sacrificially give ourselves to ensuring that the process, that we are not short-circuited or we are not disenfranchised by the process. It's going to be an individual effort now.
Yeah, I understand. But as it is now, if you're not allowed to vote, you get to a point where you're supposed to vote and you don't get your name. You have your PVC now, but then you're not allowed to vote because that's not the point, or you registered. So that's my question is, don't you think INEC should provide an alternative? Though you are saying it's too late.
It looks to me as if it's too late. The only other way.
But in that process, it means that these people might be disenfranchised.
Yes, the way it looks to me is, I don't think this is, first of all, I don't think this is a deliberate plot.
All right.
I don't want to believe that this grand confusion was part of the scheme. I don't want to believe that. I think it's just a function of ineffective planning. You see, planning is critical to anything that's going to be successful. I think INEC underestimated the extent of this project. I think INEC did not factor in a lot of circumstances that may throw up.
Okay.
But INEC owes us a duty as Nigerians to be able to go out on election day and cast our votes. That duty remains the burden of INEC, and they must ensure. I don't know whether the process can be redesigned in this late hour to say, oh, as long as your name is there, you can go ahead and vote. I don't know what the options are. We need more information from INEC. We hope that they will fine-tune their process to ensure that nobody is disenfranchised, because if that does happen on a large scale, the way the elections have been so charged, I can tell you, will lead to an unbecoming sight in the various local governments. Because the people have been, the electorates or the principal players on both sides of the divide have overcharged the polity. So people coming there and not being able to pick or revote would certainly lead to some sort of anarchy that should be avoided.
Okay, let's also talk about, I mean, I heard where people residing in the north, and some easterners residing in the north, moving as a mass migration of people from the north back home now. What do you make of that? Because a lot of them are scared that at this point violence might break out. What do you make of that?
Honestly, I think our politicians have been unfair to the Nigerians. How do I mean? I don't think it's ought to be a do or die affair. I think we should be able to civilly go out on elections day and vote whoever, a candidate of our choice. without intimidation and without fear. But unfortunately, what you have is the political climate is so charged that the issue of security has now come to the fore. And Nigerians, by nature, when circumstances have become like this, you find irrational movements. And this is what I would adduce this movement, this rush to move back to your home area because of crisis. Now, it's because the polity has been overheated. The utterances of politicians have sort of charged the environment so much that people are not even sure about safety now. It's not a safety issue, and that's unfair.
Okay, when you talk about insightful statement and some statement that can really create, that can really generate tension in the polity during campaign, don't you think there should be some guideline or some electoral act that should guide such statement during campaign?
There is an electoral act.
If there is an electoral guide, why are we not holding these people accountable?
Well, you see, this issue about utterance, I think the players, we politicians that are involved in this thing, have to understand that it's a fiduciary duty to ensure that everybody has a level playing field to conduct their civic rights. It should not be like this. So it's the politicians that must watch their words and their actions, because they now sort of set up a very tense environment in the country, and that's why you have this mass exodus from one part of the country to the other if those are going on, and that's fueled by fear. Simply,
all right. People
feel unsafe, insecure in areas that they have lived normally, but on election day, all of a sudden they don't feel secure in their own home areas, and that's unfair. I think no democracy. That's no longer democracy. Democracy is freedom of expression and freedom of choice. Wherever you live, you should be able to identify your candidates and stand by your candidates.
Party supporters are also not left out of this insightful statement. And what you have during election. In a statement coming from Asari Dokubo and as well Tumpolo, threatening war if Jonathan loses in the February 14th election.
Absolutely irresponsible. It's not do or die. Elections are conducted periodically to change even the best. Even the best can lose elections. So why must it be anchored down if my candidate does not win, then war? That is irresponsible. That is wicked. That ought to be stamped out immediately.
Do you think that these people, party supporters who are making such statements, have some power? Or probably those who are backing them, sponsoring them? Do you think there is anything like that?
Well, let's locate the Niger Delta one that you just talked about now. If they're saying that if our candidate does not win, then war, that's a very serious matter. I think our state security owes a duty to protect everybody and to step in where such inflammatory statements are made. It does not matter who they're canvassing that position for. Everybody should be given the right to choose freely whoever their candidate would be in elections. And as we've seen in advanced democracies, even the best candidates lost elections. Bush Sr. lost an election. He was only in office for one term, and was voted out by Bill Clinton. So, and that is how democracy regulates itself and keeps its balance.
If you look at some of these statements, and nobody is calling, okay, we're having some mass movement from the north. It's even all over the social media that a lot of them are even selling their houses, selling their buildings, selling their property, and moving down back to the south, I mean the east, and then a whole lot of statement. Do you think there's a weakness or when you talk about security now, in terms of security, do you think the government is not doing enough to ensure security during this election? Let's say the level of security as we approach this election.
You see, the sad place that we found ourselves in Nigeria is how the politicians have made these elections absolute do or die. It means I either win or nobody gets it. That is unacceptable. Now, how do we deflate this tension within 2 weeks? We're having about primarily 2 weeks of the elections. What's going to deflate this? The only way is for the same leaders to begin to make the right kind of responsible statements that will frail the nerves of the electorate now. The electorates have been brought into this thing and they are not even sure of what will happen on the day of the elections and what will happen the days after. I think that's where the challenge really is. What will happen on election day? If, for instance, many people go out on election day and they are disenfranchised because they can't find their names, that's a problem that must be addressed. Then in the days after the elections, it's going to be very critical how information is managed to insulate Nigerians from the impending crisis that's going on. That's looming. There's no crisis yet, but we hope that there will be no crisis. But it's going to be only a function of how information and the circumstances are managed.
Well, we have to take a break now. When we come back, of course, our guest analyst is still in the house, and when we come back, you can call in, make your contributions on Hold Our Guest Extra. We'll take a break quickly now. We'll be back for more. Join us again.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Nigerians are expected to seek out the best. 2 words to describe the activity. The Yoruba Unity Forum is conducted.
Be the first to know.
Core TV News.
From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa,
Presidential
we break the news.
Women in Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions
I wish
live
you would.
as the news breaks. We are Core TV News,
Welcome to Core TV Primetime
our
News.
24-hour news station.
Glad to have you back now. It's called Digest Extra, and my guest is still in the house, the guest analyst Akitoye Branco Rose. Thank you for being there on the show. Well, we were talking about security. Now, how prepared really are we? Because I remember when, I recall sometime 2 weeks ago, when the IG is saying that, I guess it's, okay, INEC now, that there seems to be no enough security, enough policemen to deploy during the 2015 election. And of course, the police are saying they are ready. So how do you make, or what do you make of that? Do you think we have enough security personnel to deploy during this election?
You mean manpower now? Security manpower?
Yes, security manpower.
Well, I think what happens normally in elections is that the police, the paramilitary organizations like the civil defense and even the soldiers participate traditionally in Nigerian elections, albeit at different levels of engagement to just ensure peace and stability. So if we're talking about a combination of the military and the police and the other military, other policing kind of agencies like I think we may be able to put enough together, but bear in mind that some areas of the country are fully charged security-wise. Like for instance, in the northwest areas, we have other special challenges, the Boko Haram issue and all that.
All right.
So, but if they're saying that they have enough manpower, let us believe that they do.
Well, during Osun State governorship election, and we had it in Ekiti, where there was a militarization of election during that period. I'm sure a lot of people kicked against it and said no. But election in Osun went well. The election in Ekiti as well also ended very well, peacefully as well. And a whole lot of people are saying, no, we don't want that now. Why some other people are saying, no, if you deploy military this time around, it will also aid the peaceful process of the election. Do you subscribe to that? That the election period should be militarized?
If the function for the military on election day is just the first form of peacekeeping, if we don't have enough police men to man all
every area
I think there's nothing wrong with a clearly defined role for the military in playing a peacekeeping role. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The process, the electoral process, will still be manned by by police in any case, to a limited extent. That's how it ought to be. I mean, in the past, even without the tension, we've had police and military involved in our elections, and it's not been a problem. So I don't see why it should be a problem now. You said that in Osun and in Ekiti, it didn't affect or it didn't undermine the elections in any way, even though it was militarized. If we can have the same kind of outcome and environment, I think it's going to help give people the peace of mind and the confidence to go out to perform their duties. I think that's fine.
Hello? Let's pick up this call. Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Go ahead and make your contribution. But first of all, tell us where you're calling from and tell us your name.
Okay, my name is Mr. Kasmi. I'm calling from Kano.
Okay, go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, I heard what your guest was saying concerning the issue of security during the election. Now, my contribution is in the area of security. I didn't believe that there is any kind of security on ground here in Kano that will protect the non-indigenous in case any of the candidates wins the election. I'm telling you the fact on ground, I'm not supporter of any of the candidates, even though if the election, there will be a very big crisis here in Kano. Even though if PDP wins, there will be double of such crisis. So, and the fact on ground remains that there is no security to protect anybody. So you have to find your way around for your dear life. There is no way any of the candidates can lead a united Nigeria. The most important thing we need in this country is peace. And I can't see any of those candidates giving us peace. If General Buhari wins, you will see the North, crisis will stop in the North. While if Jonathan wins, the crisis will continue. While in the East over there, they will start another crisis. So we should unite ourselves as one country and make peace within ourselves. We cannot keep on beating about the bush while we know within ourselves we don't know each other. If you do not travel back to the East, as people are telling their things right now, I want to tell you, after the election, you will be surprised of what you... Thank you very much, and we should be talking about peace. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for calling. That's an eyewitness calling from Kano there, telling us exactly what is happening. Do you have something to say about that?
As I said, it's unfortunate that elections have been reduced to war situation. It's unfortunate. But as he said, which I agree, we, the electorates now, have to preach peace and work for peace. The owners are us now.
But with all of this that is happening, who is to be blamed? Who is to blame? Who is responsible? Who should we hold responsible when it comes to issue of ensuring peaceful process, electioneering process, a peaceful one? Who should be blamed for a lack of peace during election? Do you think the people have their own part and the government has its own parts to play as well?
Yes, the chief custodian of peace in this country is the police. The duty to ensure peace is with the police. But the politicians have to also have guarded utterances in this for the sake of the peace of this land. So we have a responsibility that cuts across.
Let's also pick up this call. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Debo Mohammed from Kano.
Okay. Debo Mohammed from Kano. Please go ahead with your contribution.
I'm Debo Mohammed calling from Kano.
Yeah, Mohammed, go ahead with your contribution. I can hear you.
Okay, my contribution is about peace, free, fair, and credible election.
All right.
I believe when the election is fair, free, and credible, there will be no violence anywhere. So it's those steps of the government and the electoral empire to make sure that 2015 election is fair.
Go ahead.
Anything short of that, I think they know what they are doing, because Nigerians are tired of election manipulation, magu, all these sort of things. Black men, all this. We need
a transparent process. Yes.
We need leaders. Nigerians need leaders who can perform. Nigerians need leaders who can perform. Transparency, even in election.
All right. All right, thank you very much, Mohammed from Kano. Thank you for making your contribution. We'll have to let you go there now. All of them are also talking about peace. But the place, where is the place of the people as well? Because sometimes you blame the government, you blame those who are in power, you blame politicians. But where is the place of the people in itself? Because it is these people that will have to die. If you die, and then you're gone. So what?
And senselessly and needlessly.
Exactly. So what is the role of the people to ensure a peaceful process at this time?
That's why I said that the people have to rise up to the challenge to ensure that the process is transparent, the process is accountable. I've already said that I will ensure that I pick up my card. I am going out of the lane. I'm going out of my way to ensure that I pick up my card. That responsibility or that duty is everybody's responsibility to make sure that they go and pick up their own cards and also vote.
All right, let's quickly pick up this call. Hello? Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Where are you calling from? Tell us your name.
I'm going to be calling from Kaduna. I'm going to be from Kaduna.
Okay, Abubakar from Kaduna. Go ahead with your contribution.
I'm going to be from Kaduna.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You are talking about peaceful election, non-violence.
Yes.
Yeah. Election can only be peaceful, credible, non-violent if it is free and fair.
Yes.
If the winner can be the player, the winner, I don't think there's any going to be any crisis. But where the aspirants are treating the polity for the country, and it's not good for the future of the Nigerians. Because we expect them to bear their campaign on issues like, let's say now, if the PDP come, let them tell us what they have done about the security, unemployment, poverty, hunger. The other party should tell us what they are going to do for our security in this country, how they are going to reclaim the territory, which these governments cannot be able to do it. As far as we are concerned, the government is weak, and at this particular time, I don't think they have the right to even ask for amendments. Because somebody we are giving a country, a united Nigeria, that is with Abuja, now it is coming back to us with some of the territories being captured, and even the share now charge criminally are coming into Nigeria and claiming our territory from these people. I think we should shine the eyes. I mean, said about this proposal and so on, giving clear them to us 7 days ultimates. It's uncomfortable. If they don't know how to respect them, Democrat is not a president of Pigeon. It's the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And it is within Nigeria they elected in 2011. So now you see, Jonathan cannot perform, Jonathan is weak, Jonathan cannot do it now. We can watch somebody who can bring security, drive Nigerian news, bring peace and unity in this country. So the people now are know what they are doing, they know what they want, so nobody should open our eyes. If they are ready for war, the Nigerian military are there, the police are there, the SS are there, they are there to protect the integrity of this country. So no individuals should be above the law. The country will wherever we come. So gentlemen, we should call Nigeria to use their BBC and change this government, because this government is a failure. This government.
All right, thank you very much, Danko Likuli. We have to go now. We have to go now. Thank you. I'm sure you've made your points there. Thank you very much. I think it's probably talking about a change, and how this government is not really doing well. That's his opinion, really. And that's the essence of the calling on the show. Well, before we go, a lot of them are talking about peace,
It's very important.
which is very, very important. INEC is the only umpire in this election. Now, what exactly should INEC be looking at now? Because, of course, we have 2 weeks just 15 days exactly to the election now. We're counting down already, any moment from now. So what exactly should INEC look at now before the election?
I think the critical point for INEC is to ensure that nobody is disenfranchised. That's how they're going to accomplish that. I do not know, but that's the challenge before INEC.
All right.
Everybody should be able to pick up their PVCs, since INEC had said that the only condition upon which anyone will be allowed to vote is to have a PVC. Now, so INEC's duty right now, within 15 days, is to bring in a mass media campaign. The people should go out and pick up their cards. That's number one, and that will help douse the tension on election day.
Which means you are calling for an extension
of the collection. I'm not calling for an extension, no.
Okay.
I'm saying that INEC should rise up to the challenge of mass information dissemination.
Now, I'm talking about extension of the collection of the PVCs now.
Is it closing? What I heard from
they say it's closing today.
What I heard from Jega was that they will continue.
It's only Abuja that has been extended, according to the news now. It's been extended to 1 week. I heard Abuja, it's in the news yesterday, that Abuja has been extended by 1 week. Jacob Jutau, who is the electoral commissioner there, the resident commissioner there, said it's been extended by 1 week. But so here in Lagos,
extended in Abuja, not across the country.
That's exactly in the news. But probably we'll see INEC might want to extend Lagos and other parts of the country as well. But officially, it ends today, 31st, of course.
What I heard, because there was a move or a clamor by the National Security Advisor to postpone the elections, which we do not agree and do not subscribe for. But we also had the INEC, Jega, plead a counter position and say, look, we're ready. The cards are ready.
All right.
And we will continue to give cards even until the week, the
week of the election.
The night of the elections, if I had it clear.
Well, interesting. If it's like that, then I think a whole lot of people will be able to pick up their cards before the election. Just like you said, everyone will have to ensure, everyone will have to ensure that they pick up their permanent card, just like you said.
Yes, that is the starting point for a credible, free and fair election. And once that is not in place, then the circumstances are set for something else.
All right. Thank you very much, Akitunyi Branko Rose. You've been fantastic on the show. And that's much we can take today on the show.
Thank you
on Core Digest Extra. I am Frank Omalape. Coming up next is Soccer Planet. The guys are waiting. Bye for now.